I just got to Oregon. It's actually snowing here, which is so crazy because I'm from California. We don't see that sort of thing all the time. I am here to go to A-dec's campus. So as you know, I am in the process of remodeling my office, and of course, if you're remodeling your office or doing a startup or whatever, you are looking into dental equipment. Before we move forward, I want to thank A-dec for sponsoring this vlog and also for hosting me out here in Oregon. I was talking to my mom, and my mom was also a dentist and practice owner, and she had A-dec chairs in her practice. The problem that I have with my dental chair right now in my office is that the company went out of business. So all the little parts that are breaking down, we're like just trying to get those parts from, I don't know where they're able to get these parts from, but it's not easy because they don't make the parts anymore. So I would say at this point in my career, my perspectives have changed a little bit compared to when I was a new dentist or new practice owner. Kind of know better what to look for. And one of those things is not just to focus so much on the chair, but also to go with a company that has a long-standing reputation for quality, durability, and will last through the test of time. All right, I am actually going to go find some food and maybe some wine and just like wind down for the night. If you want to do this as well, you can ask your dealer or A-dec territory manager on how to set up your VIP trip. My TM is Bob, and we've been emailing back and forth about the pros and cons of different chair configurations. Ultimately, it just made sense for me to come out to Oregon and try things out for myself because let's be real, picking a dental chair is a huge decision. And although I've been practicing for many years, I couldn't really tell the difference between a good dental chair besides the way it looks. I don't know if you can relate, but I feel like I can now after my tour, and I was really actually inspired by A-dec as a company. But here's a quick recap of the things that really stood out to me. A-dec was founded by Ken and Joanne Austin. Although they have since passed, their values are infused into the brand. It is privately owned, and they were salt of the earth people. They had a vision and created a culture, and I know a lot of us as practice owners want that for our businesses as well. I left this tour feeling really inspired. So I think people should know that A-dec doesn't just make dental chairs. They make everything that makes sense for maintaining good ergonomics and a functional workflow for your dental operatory, even down to the consumables that keep water lines cleaned. So not only do they have chairs, they have cabinetry, countertops, consumables like ICX, and even compressors and vacuums. The first thing that stood out to me was that everything at A-dec is tested to failure. Or in other words, they actually go and test to see how long something can reasonably last with wear and tear. Because sometimes when you launch a product, you don't really know how long it's gonna last because it's new. So what they do, they bang, like for example, a cabinet door for the equivalent of 30 years time to simulate wear and tear, and then they see how long that product can last for. And this area we can't go into because they're testing all their new products, but that's how seriously they take this. And this is how they can confidently say that their products last for 20 years. Like I mentioned before, my existing dental chairs company went out of business. So for me as a practice owner now, one of the top things I look for is customer service. And you may not think that's a really big deal, but once that chair is in your office, if it breaks down, it's no longer just a dental chair. You're looking towards the company to stand by their product. And the Austins always wanted customers to be able to reach a real person if they had any issues. So during the tour, being me, I decided to put them to the test and give them a call.
Adec, this is April. How may I direct your call?
Hi, my name's Dr. Kahng, and one of my chairs is broken.
That's definitely important. Okay, let me just someone who can help, okay?
Sure enough, a real human answered my call, which is so crazy, right? Because A-dec is a really big company, and I totally did not expect that. But somehow they have managed to preserve the parts that give it a traditional feel. Okay, so I thought this room was really cool. This is every model of A-dec chair with the hood opened up. And did you know that they were the first company to color code the wires in the chairs? So the people helping you are wearing headsets, and they can come back here and let you know which wires need to go where, based on the color. I'm actually so glad I did the tour because now I understand why it is so important for A-dec to manufacture their parts. And that's something that really stood out to me now that I understand why it's important. They manufacture around 80% of their parts, plus or minus, to be able to control the quality of everything that goes in. And again, that's just a testament to the level of commitment they have to the quality. And I don't think that can be said of many other companies. For example, these bags are urethane, which is how they make dental tubing. There's a process called regrind where basically you'll take old dental tubing and regrind it into new dental tubing, but that actually compromises the quality of it. So Ken always said, I'm not going to be responsible for flooding a doctor's office on the weekend because I chose to use cheap material. And that's why they only use brand new material. And then on top of that, they test every batch of tubing that's made with a burst test. So this burst test was pretty fun. They just applied pressure to the tubing to see when it breaks, and it has to pass a certain like crazy threshold that you would never encounter in the dental office even. But everything is manufactured to their quality standards. And here we're looking at things that didn't pass quality control. And at first, like, look how small that little scuff is. You can't even see it. But every person at A-dec is empowered to check for quality. And they always say it's not worth it to pass something if there is any doubt. The third thing that really stood out to me as a business owner is that obviously when you're building a brand new office, there's things like cabinetry where you have custom built cabinetry that's attached to the wall. And that's how mine is as well. But if I ever leave, I would have to leave the cabinetry behind because it's technically attached to the building. Now, if you're a new practice owner, this may not feel like a really big concern to you, but what if your lease ends or your building gets sold, which is something that I dealt with earlier this year, and it's so scary. Or let's say that you have 2 to 3 ops to start with and you totally outgrow your space and you need to move. Well, with A-dec cabinetry, the cabinets can go with you because it can actually be detached. Not only that, you can detach each of the components from each other. Like for example, the countertop can be removed without damaging the cabinetry that's underneath. And so you can really start thinking about cabinets like assets and you can depreciate them. Anyways, those are my top 3 takeaways from my tour, but I really recommend scheduling one for yourselves because I learned so much about what to look for in certain dental equipment. And yes, A-dec did do the dental chairs in the White House, so if it's good enough for the president, it's good enough for me. Anyways, after the tour, I went to the showroom and I tried everything, and I'm going to show you around because I wanted to try out specific things. So here we go. The thing that I really wanted to see is the compressor vacuum. Like when I was looking for a new dental office, this is the compressor vacuum that everyone talked about because it's the most quiet. Mine's so loud. Mine is so loud. Like the sound radiates throughout my entire office. It feels like an earthquake. I think it's in this room. Let me show you guys. It looks like a R2-D2. So cute. If I didn't know better, I would just think that this is a air conditioner. Hey, so I am trying the stools right now. As you guys know, I'm 5'3", so I'm like technically a short girl. So I actually had this chair adjusted, so my feet are on the ground. I'm gonna see how far this goes down. I think A-dec chairs are known to be some of the chairs that can go down the lowest. So let's put her back and see how low it goes. I actually love how that was so smooth because with my chair right now, when I press the button, people are like, because it starts to go down and it freaks them out, but this was really smooth. This is really low. Nice. I think that this is a really good short girl option because yeah, I've never actually worked in my 12 years as a dentist in a chair that's made for people like me, which is very sad. I also wanted to show you guys the Continental. I've always worked in a traditional sort of setup. That's the way that we did it at UOP when I was in dental school. And I think like every practice I've ever worked at when I was an associate, and then now my office also is set up with traditional. This is what Continental looks like, by the way. It has like this looping system. Unfortunately, if you've never really experienced it, like you've never been introduced to it, then I think it's a good idea to come to the showroom and sit and try it out because like it's actually really light. This room is an example of Continental, and so this is the older version where it's attached and it's not as flexible moving 360 like what I was just telling you. This one just goes back and forth. So I think when dentists talk about like feeling trapped, like they can't move this as much, they're probably talking about the older version. Number one thing that people love about a continental system is that if you accidentally like put your handpiece back and miss the hole, it doesn't go crashing to the ground. So it just like slowly glides back into place. Let me show you the traditional just in case you're not familiar with traditional. Let's find a room. Oh, this room has traditional. So like you see with traditional, the loops go on the bottom here. And so like if you, let's say that you're just like working really fast or whatever, and then you have to put this back down, sometimes you like miss this hole. That's what a lot of my dentist friends were saying about traditional. But also you like have to pick up your hand pieces like this and then you flip your wrist, which over time, like over the years, it'll wear you down. Whereas with the continental, you kind of just grab it and you don't have to flip your wrist. So that's also one of the pros from an ergonomic standpoint. I don't know if I can switch. I'm an old dentist, I'm 12 years into my career. I don't know if I can switch. I feel like I might be more comfortable with this, but I'm really, really intrigued by the continental because I've seen how my body does break down over the years of being a dentist, and if your body breaks down, you can't work anymore. Thank you for following me to Adec. Thank you to everybody here for showing me around. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.